Thank you, Larry. Most of the concerns and the efforts with the Deep Horizon oil blowout, that's what I call it, has been with containing the shoreward movement of oil to prevent it from contaminating the beaches, the estuaries, and the marshes. And really gallant efforts have been made to prevent the oil from coming ashore. You know all the methods, the booms and skimming and burning of the oil and the use of dispersants. And I think that all of these concerns and efforts are well placed, as these are vital productive habitats and nursery areas for many marine species. However, what I'm going to talk about today are the somewhat overlooked species in the still management. There are literally thousands of species that live in the offshore habitat in the water column. That's that portion of the water between the surface and the bottom, and also at the bottom of the sea. These multitudes of species contribute to the functioning of the marine ecosystem and provide many services that benefit coastal communities. And my take on this is kind of like if you take apart a watch or a large clock, and you'll find all of these gears, at least you would in pre-electronic days, and you'll find lots of small wheels. And a lot of people might think, well, I'll just leave out one of those little wheels and put the watch back together. Well, it might not work right. Well, you think of the same way with all these animals in the ecosystem. So a lot of those little things may be very important to keep things functioning right. So last year, that's in June of last summer, the Harte Research Institute for Gulf of Mexico Studies published an all-species inventory of the Gulf of Mexico. That's 15,419 species. This was with the help of 140 experts that were authors for this text from 80 institutions in 15 countries. Well, we have, over the past year, taken this remarkable 1,400-page volume and converted it into a digital database. And we're striving to convert it into a web searchable base with a toolkit that will allow people to ask diversity questions about what lives where and what habitats and what depths. And that's what I wanted to share with you just briefly. So we know that from the northeast octant of the Gulf, that's the area that contains the Deep Horizon oil well, there are 8,332 species of plants and animals. If we just discuss only a few of the major groups of animals at all depths in the region of the spill, there are 1,461 species of mollusks, that's the clams and snails, 604 polypes, the marine worms that are related to earthworms, 1,503 crustacean species, that's the crabs and shrimps and animals like that, but also 1,250 different fish species, 4 sea turtles, 218 birds, 29 marine mammals, and I could go on and on if I mentioned the lesser groups. A somewhat sobering and ironic aspect is that in the area surrounding the Deep Horizon well, that is at the depths, those depths, there is the highest species richness, that's the greatest number of species for anywhere in the Gulf of Mexico. And frankly, I was surprised when I saw the data. It was an unbiased finding. We just looked at our data set and asked a question, and that's what pops out. 1,728 species of animals at that depth, and that's within the 1,000 to 3,000 meter depth range within our polygon. The Deep Horizon well is about 1,500 meters. This area is truly the biodiversity hotspot for the deep Gulf of Mexico based on current explorations. Within all depths, this area has 135 unique species described from and based only on these explorations. 74 species from this area are listed as threatened or endangered, including 6 marine mammals and 4 sea turtles. And if we look at the northeast quadrant of the Gulf, that's the 1/4 of the Gulf that includes the oil well, there are 2,797 species found nowhere else in the Gulf. So there's lots of species in this area that most people don't think about. What we think about are the oil birds and the marshes and the other things that we see from shore. There's a big diversity of things that are beneath the surface, and I'll stop there and pass on.